if I talk about there is always a question, how long can a battery be discharged? So, as I have discussed earlier when I was explaining about the ratings, so I have said that there is always the depth of discharge mentioned along with the life cycles. So when you will be hearing, when you will be considering the life cycle, when you will be asking for the life cycle, the depth of discharge is always mentioned along with the life cycle. So why is it so? Because the capacity of a battery, if I talk about the battery efficiency or the working condition. So as the as if I say that over the period of usage, the capacity of battery goes down. So after when you have bought a new battery pack and the day when you start using it, its capacity goes down after every usage. So its capacity goes down, and also there is a problem of self. Its capacity goes down. There's a problem of self discharge associated with them. And if you keep your cell ideal, so if you keep your cell ideal, if you keep your cell charged in an ideal condition and you're not using it, the charge inside the cell will be slowly reducing. If you test a cell, for example, if you charge your cell fully and you have checked the voltage of your cell, but now after a day or 2 days, depending upon the type of cell, if you now check the voltage again, then you will be finding that the voltage is reduced. So there is a problem of cell discharge associated with this cell. So now there is a question that how low can battery be discharged? So now generally we think that if we have charged our battery 100%, then we are allowed to discharge cell completely, or we can go for 0% discharge, or we can completely utilize the charge of our battery pack. But this is not so. We cannot go for completely discharge. Why? Because if we are going for completely discharge of a cell, then the life cycle of cell is going to reduce. Life reduces. For example, just consider that we have discussed about a cell uh, which was offering life cycle of 500 to 700 cycles with 80% depth of discharge. 80% depth. So what does it mean, sir? It means that the manufacturer, which is claiming that its cell is going to last for 500 to 700 cycles, that is only possible when you are following the depth of when you're following this rule of 80% depth of discharge. It means that you are charging your cell, or I would say you are drawing only 80% power. For example, let's say you have completely charged your cell to 100%, from 0 to 100%. You are completely charged. But now, what is 80% discharges? You are only allowed to discharge your cell to 80%. It means that you have to maintain 20% capacity as a reserve. You cannot use this 20%. You can use only 80% from your cell. So if you are doing this, you are only selecting the 80% of the charge, then the manufacturer is saying that the cell is going to last long for 700 cycles. But here also, in this case also, the capacity of cell is going to be decreasing after continuous usage, but the cell is going to last for 700 cycles. But what will happen when you go for, generally 80% is a very big number. Even 80% is not allowed. It is somewhat 60% only. 80% is also not allowed. Only 60% of depth of discharge is allowed. So what will happen if you increase the depth of discharge? If you go for 100% depth of discharge, then the life cycle will be reduced very much. It is going to be reduced very much. So earlier, when with 60% or 80% depth of discharge, you were getting 500 cycles, but now you will be getting only 200 to 300 cycles. And after 300 cycles, you have to replace your battery. Why? Why this happens? Because the stress on the chemicals and electrodes increases. So this stress causes weakens the chemical reactions and electrolytes. The stress is developed over the electrodes, and that's why they are not able to perform or last long for the 500 or 700 cycle. They become replaceable. They require replacement after 200 or 300 cycle. But it varies as per the manufacturer. Some of them are providing 500 to 700 cycle, and even they can increase the cycle by decreasing the depth of discharge. So you have to know, you have to keep in mind about the cycles along with the depth of discharge. For example, you're getting 500 to 700 cycle of 60% depth of discharge. If I decrease this depth of discharge, let's say I make it 40%, then you can get 700 to 1000 cycles also. So you have to always consider the depth of discharge along with the life cycle. At what depth of discharge I am going to get the cycles, I am going to get the life cycle of my cell. You have to note this. So that if you look at this is a schematic of a, this is an analogy of a battery. So this is a battery pack. Now you can see that there is a speed zone. So there is an upper limit and there is a lower limit. So why they are referring to as a sweet zone? So now this is the 100% charge content, and they are referring to as a sweet zone, which is only this much. So basically, this is the depth of discharge. So manufacturer wants you to operate in this range only. You should not go beyond this range. So while charging, charge above this upper limit, or you should not charge through. You should not go beyond this upper limit, and while discharging, you should not go beyond this lower limit. So that's why this is termed as a sweet zone, because in this zone you are going to get larger life cycles, about 1,000 or 1,500 life cycles. What this manufacturer has claimed for the depth of discharge, you are going to get that much life cycles. Your cell is going to last long. The capacity of the battery will not fade at very faster rate, although it will fade with every usage. But the rate at which, if you follow this depth of discharge, the rate at which it is going to fade will be reduced, and the battery backup and the efficiency of cell is going to last long. So this is the advantage of operating in the sweet zone. So now, with your mobile phones also, you can, wherever you are using this lithium-ion batteries, so it is generally advisable to not go beyond 85% charge. Not go beyond 85%. So generally, we operate at, if you are discharging your phone, if you are using the charge, then do not go beyond 30%, and do not charge above 80%, 85%. So just operate in between them. So what it is saying is, when you are using your mobile phone power, then do not discharge your cell phone below 30%. And when you're charging it, do not charge above 85%. So always remain between 30 to 80% capacity. So this, what in turn this will give us is, the capacity of the stress on the battery will be reduced, because it is already having some charge content. So you have stopped discharging your phone below 30%. So you are holding this 30% charge now. So when you will start charging above 30%, the stress over the battery will be very much reduced. So that's why from this you are going to get longer life cycles. This is what this is all about. Now, if I talk about the electric vehicles, now if I talk about the electric vehicles, so here generally we don't generally we are not interested in the technical aspects of a battery operation. But if you see that, then there is a limit of operation. That, for example, if you go and buy an electric vehicle, the warranty which is assured to you by the manufacturer is somewhat like this. They provide in two ways: kilometers oblique time frame. For example, like they will be saying that 1 lakh kilometers, 1 lakh kilometers, or 5 years. So whichever you complete first, below which after that your warranty will not be claimed. So below that you can claim your warranty. So either you complete 1 lakh kilometers or the time frame of 5 years. Below this you can claim your warranty. But how they are able to provide this warranty is, first of all, the first factor is oversizing of battery pack, and there is a limit. There is a limit of charging and discharging. So as I said earlier, that in conventional in electric vehicles, they follow generally this rule: 40 to 80% or 75% something. So generally you operate in this range. This is your working range. This is your working range. So what it is saying, this is your working range, and you operate within this range only. So your vehicle is not allowed to charge beyond 80%. So the maximum charge your vehicle is holding, or I would say the state of charge your vehicle would be 80%. And here the state of charge when you are discharging or when you are drawing power from your vehicle, so you are discharging up to 40%, and below 40% you are not allowed to discharge. So here after reaching here, you have to plug the charger to your vehicle, and it will automatically get disconnected after 80% of SOC is reached. So generally they are always operating in the sweet zone. This is their sweet zone. So they are making you to operate in the sweet zone only. That's why they are ensuring this range. But if you are discharging your battery completely, then range and the warranty, which is the range which they have ensured, you are not able to cover that much range, and then you would have gone for claiming the warranty, and this would have created a loss for the manufacturers. So that's why they generally do is operate in this range, and you're not aware of this. They make you operate in this range only. So now, so that's why it is always advisable to keep some residual charge inside the battery. Do not completely discharge your battery pack. Always keep some charge inside your battery. So as it is written here is, not all battery energy should be discharged. Some reserve is almost always left behind for the left behind on the purpose. And there is a voltage cutoff. So as I said, as your battery is discharging, there is always the voltage of the battery pack is dropping, and so when it reaches a threshold point, there is a provision made inside your vehicle. It will automatically cut off your battery pack and it will not allow further to discharge your battery. So this is point to be noted here is that the battery, the discharge of the battery pack should be always operated in this range. And when you are looking for the life cycle, you should always look for at what depth of discharge you are going to get this much life cycles.